Hello, this is Crypto CJ. Welcome to today's trade of the day. It's a Friday afternoon Zoom edition. And we've had a pleasant surprise today. Bitcoin's made a nice run up, a couple percent, pushing 42K, couldn't quite make it, hanging around 41.8 at the moment. Let's check out the chart. You guys should be seeing my Bitcoin day chart. And if you're not, please speak up. All right, I drew this range in here a while back. It's still staying in it, between about 45.7 and 35. We've had slightly increase, higher lows, so that's a bullish sign. We've also got some, well, maybe two lower highs. I'm not sure if that's that meaningful, but anyway, we should be coming to a hedge or a decision late March, early April. If we're going to take off and reclaim those highs we had late last year. So, but I like the movement up into the 40s again. I think this happened. It happened a couple days ago, and it maintained through yesterday and today. So that's a good sign. Curious to see if it maintains through the weekend. A notoriously lower volume. So that's what I've been seeing in Bitcoin. Not really any major news that I'm aware of. I just checked the TradingView headlines. If anybody has anything to add to Bitcoin, now's the time to speak. Well, actually, there'll be plenty of times to speak, but now would be good. All right, we got a shy group on Friday. Let's check out Ethereum. Okay, on the day chart here, some similarities to Bitcoin with the higher lows. The higher, it has broken through the lower highs in this pennant, and could be pushing 3,000 very soon. 2950 at the moment, but overall looking good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 straight daily green candles for Ethereum. So that looks promising. Well, let's see if we have any news. I think there's a lot of NFT things going on that might be pushing up the price of Ethereum. But nothing really jumping out at me as something critical, life-changing. All right, any questions or issues on Bitcoin and Ethereum or the market overall before we check out Altcoin Alert? All right, let's see if we can find some trades. All right, I'm on Altcoin Alert now. And as usual, I've got the Altcoin Radar selection as opposed to the dashboard. I've turned easy mode off. This way I get all the information. I usually reload first. And my first sort is by AA score. Bear in mind that the AA score is trying to predict the likelihood of a coin to go up 3% or more in the next 48 to 72 hours. So it's usually a coin that's been beaten down and due for recovery, which is why I look at it in and of itself. I don't really take the other columns into consideration when I'm evaluating an AA score. So we have a good one here on OGN, 87.6, very bullish, but it's up 38% already. That is something I take into consideration. Is this played out? Not sure. Just happened to have it handy because I was looking at it earlier. As usual, I'm gonna look at the day chart to get the big picture. And we had a huge drop from its high in November. And a lot of the coins did this, down 80%, but then a pretty big recovery. On the hour chart, look at the recent history. We've got a huge move on OGN since the 13th. I mean, it went up almost 100%, dropped a little, then another big move, over 120% in the last, 5 days or so. A little bit of a dip today, but trending up, though it has a red candle on the 1 hour. On the 5-minute, looking kind of squeezy, but it's about 5% between those Bollinger Bands. Yeah, so there is some room to move. Sitting on the SMA line, as you know, it's not my favorite place to get in. Do have some kind of descending short-term support here, right around 53 cents. So that might be a good place to get in for a price alert on the 5-minute chart. Right around here towards the bottom of the Bollinger Band, right click on it, add your alert. I like round numbers, so I'd probably go with like 52.80. Call it whatever you want, and you're good to go on your alert. And then you see these indicators, these characters here on the charts. These are indications of divergence. It's a disagreement between the indicators like this and the price action. So it's going to show an example here, but it's kind of convoluted. So yeah, again, usually it's when like I said, it's when, like here we've got bullish divergence, so the candle action's going up. Or sorry, this is the end of bullish. This is where you would get in on bullish divergence. So the candle action's trending down, and then the indicators trending up. So I don't usually put alerts on indicators on the 5-minute chart. I like to give them a little more time than that. So I go to the 15, the 30, or even the 1 hour sometimes. On the 15, it's pumping pretty hard. We haven't had of course, we had a nice warning here of bullish divergence yesterday afternoon. That triggered here at 1445, and then we had a really nice move up from there. Doesn't always work that way. Like here's one that really didn't move much at all. This one triggered here, it went up. Actually not bad. Almost 3%. That's a pretty good day trade. So usually when I'm using a divergence indicator, I'll look for the other indicators to coordinate, and the price action as well. So like on this one, we had a red candle right after, so I may not get in there, but I might when I see some green candles trending up. That's a better determination of the trend. Plus, I've got the money flow index and the RSI, the relative strength index, both trending up at that moment. So that's usually a better entry. It could drop immediately after that. It's no guarantee, but what I'm trying to do with these zooms is help you guys get better entries and just looking at Altcoin Alert than jumping in at any time. So on the 15-minute chart, if I want to use a divergence alert, I right click here, and actually you get your divergence alerts here. Click on that button on Trading View. Community scripts, that's free scripts to anybody. Type in divergence, and this one comes up, which is one of the more popular ones. Divergence from any indicators is a version 4. You want the most recent version. So click on that, it'll download to your chart. And on the 15-minute, go to positive divergence. I usually go with once per bar close, and just call it positive divergence, and you're good to go on that. If divergence is a little foreign to you, you're not familiar with it yet, that's fine. I really didn't use it that much until I've been trading for close to 2 years. So I like these indicators. The RSI I've been using since the very beginning. This is one of my favorite indicators to use to put alerts on. So on something like this, you see how it dips below 30 and then jumps back up. This is one of my favorite alerts to put on here. So I'll right click here on the RSI, add an alert. I want to be crossing up the 30 value. Below 30 is considered oversold, and usually in that situation it's due for a recovery. But if you just put it on crossing and it crosses down and you get in, it could keep going down and down and down and down. You don't want that. So you want it to go down and then start to trend back up, which is why I like the crossing up function. And RSI, and you're good to go. And you can do something similar on the MFI for the 20 value, crossing up the 20, and get the same kind of result. So any questions on OGN? Okay, got a quiet group today. All right, so that OGN fell a little bit on the score as we were doing that. So that's the only very bullish one at the moment. We got some that are just regular bullish. Not that interested in those. The other sort I like to do with Altcoin Alert is the long-term sentiment. And you can just hover over this question mark to the left and it'll tell you what that is. But I always think of it as a word on the street, the Twitter data, what people are tweeting and talking about online. So when I get a very bullish or a bullish on long-term sentiment combined with the Elder Impulse Daily, which is a technical indicator, it's like the MACD, moving average convergence, divergence. You can see the description here. But anyway, long-term, word on the street, Elder Impulse, technical. So when I get those two lining up, like this one here, very bullish and bullish on NEXO, that's one usually worth checking out. It's only up 2.5%, might have some room to go up. I don't think I've traded this one before. I mean, I know what it is. It's the platform lending and yield farming and things like that.
CJ, can I see how you might apply divergence on this one?
Okay. Yeah, let me find it's not FTX I trade on sometimes. Let's use that one. All right, so Mark's asking about divergence. We're on the 15-minute chart now. And we haven't had a positive divergence, for like a day and a half. So, but again, it doesn't matter where you click on here to use your alert. You can click on a red one, even if you want to put a positive one, just click this like I did on the last one. Divergence alert. And you're good to go. So when that alert triggers, like let's go back in time and let's say this alert triggers and we're right here. I'm going to look at the other indicators. Usually it triggers when the price is going down on a bullish divergence and vice versa on bearish divergence. You see the bearish ones here and the prices are above the top of the Bollinger Band. So it's trying to be predictive. It's trying to say here's a chance that the price action is going to reverse. Obviously, if you catch that right, you can do really well in your trades, in your day trades especially. So let's say your alert goes off here on this candle, and the MFI is trending up, the RSI is trending up. One thing I like about this alert, about the version I showed you, is that it doesn't trigger until there's confirmation. Like the prior version would trigger on this candle here, but you want confirmation first, and your confirmation is your green candle, in addition to what I just showed you. The other, you can choose what indicators you want to use, but some people just use a green candle after it triggers, and then go ahead and make their trade. But version 4 doesn't trigger until there's confirmation. So that's usually a pretty strong signal to go ahead and get in if you want to trade like this.
That's on a 15-minute.
Correct.
If you're looking for confirmation, would you look for a smaller period? Because I mean, just one 15-minute period, I might want to see more, or is that unreasonable to expect
That's
more?
totally fair. Actually, if I'm doing the market's trending up in the last couple of days. If I'm doing something bearish, I usually look. If I'm going really hard against the trend, then I try to look for other indicators or other more price movement. So on this example, you can go over to the 5-minute chart. See, we're at midnight. Trying to go back in time to get to make it line up. So that alert goes off. We don't have much 5-minute action on this, right about here. And we're towards the bottom of the Bollinger Band. But it looks like a single dip. As you know from the 1, 2, 3 dip training, you might want to wait for a third dip. 1, 2, 3, which we get here. Even though this is kind of a squeezy looking bubble, but it's bubble nonetheless. And then maybe you get in here, and that's a pretty good trade. You're up here almost 3%. So yeah, it's a good idea on your trades to once your alert goes off on the larger time frame, 15 or 30, to go ahead and look at your 5-minute time frame and see if you can get even a better entry point. So does that help, Mark?
Yeah, that helps. It fits price action theory for me too.
Okay. All right. Well, anyway, for 5-minute, for the current 5-minute chart, you're kind of low volume on this exchange. FTX on NEXO. When you see these horizontal lines, that means no trades were made in that time frame. I don't know if I would seriously look at this at all with this low volume, but since we're here, we'll check it out. It looks like it's squozy right about here, and it's bubbling out a little bit. One didn't hit the SMA line yet, so this potential dip sequence is still active. You might want to put an alert maybe right down here around 223. Might be a good entry on this. If you want to be more patient, wait for the weekend. It could dip down here. This short-term resistance is around 217. Or you can go to your 15-minute chart and do the alerts we just described on the Divergence, MFI, or RSI, and wait for a better entry.
CJ, I noticed that you're in USD, not USDT. Does that make any difference?
No, I was just looking for an exchange on this particular coin on Nexo, which isn't something I trade a lot. I saw FTX, which I have traded on before, and I jumped over there. So you could just as easily look for it on there's probably a USDT. Yeah. On I could have gone to Bitfinex or Poloniex or Huobi or one of those. Well, actually, no, let's looking down too far. Yeah, it's going to be kind of similar here on the other exchanges, and this is that's USD pair too, but it really doesn't matter. Yeah.
So when you think about this, CJ, when you think about it, are you also trying to be aware of what's happening with Bitcoin and how that movement is happening along with all this, so you see how that is influencing your potential trade?
Yeah, absolutely. And sorry if I didn't make the connection strong enough, but that's why we look at Bitcoin and Ethereum first. So we want to know what's going on with them on the relevant time frames. I suggest it's always a good idea to look at Bitcoin before you jump in any trade. It's so annoying that Bitcoin has such dominance over the market, but it does. You have to deal with that as a trader.
So you're always being aware of that dominance, that effect.
Yeah, I always look at Bitcoin first. You can look at, the Bitcoin actual dominance, but I think this is built into the price to some degree. So, but good point. Yep. You're usually trading two coins. Look at Bitcoin first, and then the coin you're evaluating. Take time, look at the indicators, and look at Bitcoin again before you make the final decision. Occasionally, some will go against Bitcoin, but for the most part, Bitcoin has a strong influence on nearly every coin. All right, good questions, Mark. Any other questions on NEXO?
Not on NEXO, but something I've been doing recently is actually looking at different stock market exchanges and when they come online.
Okay.
And so right now we're Singapore's the next one to come online, and it's I know it's about 7 o'clock there at the moment. So when they start coming online, there's usually a bit of a pump so that can actually throw out what you're seeing as a result. So just something else to keep in mind, like watching Bitcoin.
Yeah, I don't look at this as much as I used to, because I've nearly memorized these hours. But what Craig's talking about is the different markets coming online. For me, I just think in terms of that, a good time to trade is on Pacific time, about 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. and then again around 3 p.m. to about 6 p.m. So for me, those are waking hours plus when the other markets are coming online, or not coming online to begin with, but are functioning. So, but Craig's suggestion is a little more specific than that, is to look at, Singapore's not on this one, but some of the other larger ones are Hong Kong, Tokyo.
Yeah, Singapore's much the same as Hong Kong and Tokyo. So
right, I figured as much.
I think there's about a half-hour difference or something, an hour to half-hour difference. So they're all about the same.
Right. So
ones.
yeah, so it's 3:26 Pacific on my computer. So in about an hour and a half, round up 3:30, around 5 o'clock. Our time is when these start to get going. But a lot of traders do what we do. They trade from home, so they may not wait till 8 or 9 in the morning. They may get up earlier and trade around 6 or 7 in the morning. So that's when I see that.
The pump usually starts about 6 or 7 in the morning. But
okay.
then when the market actually opens, the professional traders often do a lot of buying, and that usually pushes a bit of a pump.
Good extra stuff, guys. Take that into consideration.
And that's Singapore time you're talking about, right?
Yeah. Well, it's you go through the market. So Singapore's the next one to open. So that's the one we should be watching at the moment.
Okay.
Well, Singapore, Tokyo. It's not just Singapore. It's Hong Kong, Singapore, Tokyo are all about to move at the same time.
Yeah, I just put the link to this market time converter in the chat if you want to look at it. So, right. Let's see what else we have in Altcoin Alert. Reload. Long-term sentiment. Yeah, we looked at that. OKB. I'll look at something. Aave. Aave, I think, was a short yesterday because I took the short and should have gotten out and I didn't. So now I'm in trouble on this one a little bit. So let's check it out. Okay, on the day chart for Aave, looks pretty similar to the OGN chart we looked at. Pretty big drop since November, then a nice movement last couple days. since the 15th, we're up 40%. A little bit of a dip in the last hour or so. So on the 5-minute, yeah, looking kind of squeezy and really high. Yeah, less than 2% between the Bollinger Bands. So not seeing a good entry on the 5-minute. Pretty good support here at 160 since late this morning, but I probably want to go down to this level to get in. Put my alert around 150. Then see what the what the rest of the market is doing, what Bitcoin's doing, and all that. And then you got your alerts here on the 15-minute. If you want to go long, you don't quite trust the 15-minute. Oh, we had a nice one here. Yeah, that's a really good move. You know, you can do the 30-minute or even the hour. But with the market trending up and going, yeah, probably stay with the 15-minute. Put my alert here on the indicator on the positive. And good to go on that one. Don't just jump in because your indicator goes off. You got to check it out. You know, the whole picture. What's Bitcoin doing? What's the current price action on Aave? What are the other indicators doing? You know, these are the 3 I like to use. You may have others you want to use. So then you can put your alerts down here on the crossing up 20 on the MFI, crossing up 30 on the RSI. So anyway, any questions on Aave? Okay, let's look at one more. Let's do a different sort. We did the long term, we did the AA score. We'll get some overlap, but let's try the Elder Impulse daily sort. We've got, yeah, this is one I had an alert on earlier today. Monero, bullish on long-term sentiment and the Elder Impulse. Bullish AA score, it's only up 2%. It's an older project, so it's not going to necessarily pump as much as some of the others, but I think it's worth a look. So let's check it out. All right, day chart. I think someone fell on his keyboard on this one. Look at that pump. 36% in the, actually that, I think that was a 5-minute move. Maybe not. Okay, the 1 hour. Pretty good movement. Last few days, up 11%, not bad. Is this a sleeping giant? I don't know. 5-minute trending up. Yeah, 1.4%. It's really squeezy. So it's not in a dip sequence or even close. Got some support down here around 188. So that could be your price alert. Reevaluate both Monero and the and Bitcoin once that alert goes off. And you got your 15-minute alerts I've been talking about already. You know, MFI going above 20, RSI going above 30, or the Divergence Alert. So, any questions on Monero?
Well, just that I'm thinking, I don't know how the market's going to move at this point. except for Bitcoin's up now at this range, and it's been showing a pattern of going down, up and down.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you saw Monero here, it would seem that just at a quick view that it's probably going to go down. But then no one knows if is Bitcoin going to keep pumping up, or if they, the bankers just decide we're going to go for it. How do you deal with that on a daily basis, where you're making decisions about taking risk in this market, given that you really don't know which way it's going to go? You're just making short-term decisions, taking a piece that you think that will work in this market, or do you stay out of it till you see confirmation about which way this market's going to go?
It's a good
How do you look at
question.
it?
As a day trader, I kind of like this trending action, because I don't know how long it's going to last, but even if I'm wrong, I'm probably going to be right in a couple days, because it's down, up, down, up, down, up. So let's say I buy a short here when Bitcoin's at 41.77. If it keeps doing what it's doing, it's going to come back up and then come back down to probably 38 or 39 in a couple days. So that'll take out, most likely I'll ladder buy up here. I haven't talked about ladder buying in a while, but that's kind of like dollar cost averaging when you buy another position, and it makes your overall position better. But so I've always got that to fall back on. I try not to be cavalier about it, because sometimes you can ladder buy and it just goes against you for a long time, and now you got a lot of money in something you'd rather not be in. But so that's one thing I take into. Plus, I'm on leverage on 10x usually, so I'm really only looking for 2 or 3%. You can usually get that kind of retrace to some degree in most of these coins if you get in a reasonably good spot. Go ahead,
CJ,
Craig.
couple of things. This is quite a good market where you can actually, if you're not sure, open a short and a long at the same time, because both of them will win, and one will be counteracting the other as it goes, whichever way it goes. So I've found that quite useful in this current market.
Yeah, agreed. Craig and I are obviously more experienced traders, so we're trading on leverage, long and short. I do have some new people on here who may not be trading on leverage yet, who might be fairly new to day trading, and you guys shouldn't be dealing with leverage until you've had some sustained success with spot trading. So with that in mind, I usually do emphasize spot entries, and then I was just about to talk about leverage fairly soon, because I wanted to show how you could use Altcoin Alert to find shorts and to trade, and make money when the market goes down. You have to be on a leverage platform of some kind. So, but Craig's right. When it's ranging like this, I've usually got longs and shorts both going. So
the other thing I'd like to mention.
Go ahead.
The other thing I'd like to mention is that it is Friday afternoon, and a lot of the institutional traders will exit all their positions for the weekend. They're not allowed, some of them or a lot of them are not allowed to keep their positions open over the weekend. So that can initiate a bit of a sell-off towards the end of the day. So that's just another thing to keep in mind on Friday afternoon.
Yeah, definitely. So, we've got that coming up here. I think, there's a few institutions in California, same time as me right now. And, the East Coast traders are probably gone for the day already, and, New York and over there. So, I have a calendar item at 5 p.m., Friday shorts. I take a quick look at Altcoin Alert and the overall market and see if anything looks good to short over the weekend, and go ahead and do that. So with that in mind, let's look at Altcoin Alert and see if we can find something to short.
A question.
And remember that Friday here is Saturday over there.
That's true.
So they've already done it.
All right, Mark's tried to get in a couple times. Go ahead, Mark.
So on the short and long call, you would then you'd see how it's going to work out, and then if you see that it's going in the other direction, you'll get out of the opposite side of that trade. So if it's going long, you're going to get out of the short and ride that long up.
Craig trades out more than I do. I don't usually trade the same coin long and short. I will look for shorts and look for a few shorts and a few longs every day based on Altcoin Alert and some other information sources I use, and then make those trades as the alerts go off and the market conditions are looking, like I want. But do you
It's
want?
called a spread trade, I guess, is what Craig's referring to. Yeah.
Right, do on the same coin.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong
So
with that.
what I do then is say it's I'm not sure if it's going up or down, and I'll take both, and it goes up. When it tops out, I'll cash out of that one, and usually use that to ladder buy into the other one. So it just offsets. If you get it badly wrong, it just offsets what's going on.
It's a good idea.
Thanks.
Yeah. All right. Altcoin Alert, and let's do a long-term sentiment on very bearish. So in this scenario, I'm looking for something to short, and I want bearish on long-term sentiment and the Elder Impulse Daily. And it has to be something that I know is on an exchange. I like to trade on Bybit and Femex. So it's got to be something I know are on there. And Cody would qualify. I think HBAR would too. So let's look at HBAR. Which I think is on my list. Nope. All right, day chart. Trending down hard, not pumping as much as the others today. The hour. Up about 5.5% last day and a half. Not that great considering the overall market. The 5-minute, super squeeze. Okay, maybe not as much as I thought. Yeah, less than 1%. So, but towards the top of the Bollinger Band. So what I would do on this is, on my scalping, where I'm just trying to get like a 0.5% or 1%, I sometimes just put alerts on the Bollinger Band. Whenever it goes up, or I mean, it's easier to show than explain. So I go here to alert, HBAR, crossing down, value, Bollinger Band, and it'll give me higher, upper, lower. So I go with upper. So if I want to short HBAR in the 5-minute chart, I want to cross down on the top Bollinger Band, the upper one, and usually once per bar close. And then that's my BB, cross down alert. And so like see here, it went up, then dipped a little bit. This is probably the better one here. It came back down. Yeah, these didn't really close a bit below. This one closed below. So that would have gone against you about 1.2%. You gotten in here. Yeah, that would have been a nice 0.5% scalp. Had you gotten in here, maybe on a 5-minute divergence alert, that's a better, it's about the same, about 0.5%. So, but if you don't want to, if you want something that's small, then you go to your larger time frames here. Got your bearish divergence. And then on the MFI, you're going to go, let's do the RSI, which is probably what I would actually do. Set an alert on the RSI. Crossing down. And then the value is going to be 70. Once per bar close. So if I create this alert, when this goes up like it did here and then down again, that's a better chance of catching a downward movement. And this is the kind of alert I would set on a Friday night if I'm not busy, and do a trade maybe 9 or 10 o'clock at night, and try to catch a short into Saturday morning. So that's how I use Altcoin Alert to find shorts. Any questions on HBAR? Okay. I'll just leave that one. All right. Any questions on the overall market? We're at about 40 minutes now, so that's where I usually wrap it up. Unless you have a pressing question. Looks like you don't. That's okay. For those of you watching on the recording, I appreciate you doing that. Hope to see you live next time. Those of you who attended live, really appreciate you guys on a Friday afternoon. If you're into carbon, we'll go ahead and start that one shortly. Otherwise, happy trading. Have a good weekend.